You're listening to the iRacers Lounge.
Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me tonight, Chewy Side 55 Carlos Fonseca, Lance Gentles, and special guest new teammates to the team, Jamie Martin and Scotty Reinshield. Welcome, guys.
What's up?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Evening.
I actually put Mike's name in there, but it's Kyle Fleischman.
And he said it too.
All right, we're going to start up with Scotty here. And Scotty, when did you start on iRacing and how did you hear of it?
Actually, not surprising, as I've heard this several stories like this. I happened to just be trolling through some internet, looking for something to do in the way of sim racing, not even knowing that sim racing was really as big as it is, and happened across a couple of different things and stumbled across iRacing and I mean, just happenstance. I found iRacing and couldn't wait to get started on it.
All right, and how about you, Jamie?
I've been sim racing for a little while. I started in R Factor, and then just had some friends that ran iRacing, and they kind of talked me into joining. And I've only been doing it for about a year now, and I've enjoyed, I would say, my first year of doing it.
All right, so we got a newbie and a yearling, I guess we could say. How often did you race, Scott?
I'm more of a weeknight kind of guy. I usually try to get on 2 to 3 nights a week, later on in the evening, kind of after the family's gone to bed.
All right, Jamie?
Normally weekends, usually. Just kind of depends on my work schedule and everything, but usually you'll see me on most weekends. That's when I usually get to do my racing. I'll probably pop in every once in a while on the weeknights, maybe run a race or two, or just a little bit of just practice laps. But usually I do the majority of my racing on the weekends.
Okay. What series do you guys run?
Being relatively new at this, I really just started kind of racing official stuff at the end of July, beginning of August. So I've been working my way up through, but lately I've settled on the trucks, C fixed and open, a little bit of the Xfinity stuff, and you guys have kind of got me into the NIS series, but that's pretty much it.
All right, Jamie?
Just mainly the NIS fixed series. Been doing it for about a year. I might run some B fixed and things like that, but mainly I kind of play around the fixed series, but looking to do a little bit more open racing, especially for next year.
Yeah, it's me personally, I think it's a totally different experience running the opens because people actually have to put effort into the car. What type of equipment do you have, Scotty? Wheel, pedals?
I'm kind of in transition right now. At the moment, I have a Thrustmaster TMX Pro that I picked up at GameStop. I actually have been working on a dedicated rig, 80-20 deal, and just it's been a slow process getting it together. I didn't want to wait until I was finished with that to start racing, so currently I'm in a folding chair with this cheaper wheel and a folding table, and trying to make do with it until I get my other deal set up.
All right, Jamie?
I use a Thrustmaster T300 RS with the Alcantara add-on wheel. Pedals are a set of Club Sport V2s. Definitely a game changer for me, especially if you do a little bit of road racing. Just having that load cell pedal is pretty nice. As far as I'm just on a standard computer desk with a gaming computer, but other than that, it's just about it.
All right. Did you ever try out those stock Thrustmaster pedals before you went to the V2s, or did you go straight to those?
I had a set of stock pedals with it that I tried. Definitely did provide the greatest feel. They were better than a lot of other pedals though people have told me about. But I jumped to I think V2s about 6 or 7 months later, and I wouldn't run anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at with that question there, because some people just don't understand the difference in pedals. How many monitors you got, Scotty?
Just a single 27-inch right now. I hope to upgrade to triples in the future, but working off of a desk doesn't really help that. And I assume, especially after getting experience here, that I can see where triples would be a handy add-on.
Yep, I love mine. How about you, Jamie?
I'm just on a single 24-inch right now. Look, as soon as I upgrade my video card, which is probably gonna be pretty soon, I'm probably gonna jump to triples. But right now I'm just on a single 24, hoping to jump to triple 27s.
Going up to like the max. Do you participate in any leagues, Scotty?
No, still pretty new in this and finding my way. I've been kind of looking through the leagues. I've yet to find one that really fits my schedule, as in starting later in the evening through the week. Most start at 7 to 9 o'clock, and I need something a little bit later than that. But so right now, I guess pretty much sticking to official stuff.
All right, and you, Jamie?
I haven't really joined a league. I've run a few league races here and there, but like Scotty said, just haven't really found anything that kind of fits my style yet. I'm still kind of looking to see. Would prefer something that kind of follows maybe sort of the cup schedule, since I kind of run that this way. I don't have to alternate between practicing for a bunch of different tracks in 1 week. But just really haven't found anything that I needed yet.
All right, there's tons of leagues out there for sure. We've had a few on the show. Any third-party software, besides TeamSpeak, Scotty?
I use the Z1 dashboard on a second laptop. Probably don't use it as much as I'd like to, just because I feel like I have to set up a second computer that's not typically here by my other one, but I really like the functionality of it. But I hope once I get my rig set up, I can have a dedicated monitor for that.
All right, Jamie?
I just use mainly a little bit of Motec, since I'm just starting to kind of learn about setups, and a little bit, and I use iSpeed, but that's it.
All right. And Scotty, how about your most memorable moment on iRacing? Even though it's only been a short time, you have anything that sticks out so far?
I guess if I had to pick one, my single win so far, finally it felt good to break through and get that. I'm typically a pretty conservative driver. I don't try to go for wins. I try for top 10s. If I get a top 5, I'm feeling pretty good. So had a lot of seconds, thirds, fourths. It just hadn't hit that win yet, and stumbled into a win in the C fixed. And I guess so far that's been my most memorable moment, other than participating in the 24-hour of Le Mans with you guys. That was a pretty memorable deal, just to get to spend that much time in there, putting in that many laps. That was a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely had fun welcoming you to the team, basically right at that weekend. So, and it worked out for all of us. How about you, Jamie?
I would say probably my most memorable one would have to be the NIS fixed win that I had. Probably this year, I've had a couple of them, but probably that one stands out the most because we got a restart, I think, with maybe 15 to go, and nobody pitted, and I was pretty much on sequence where I had to pit to get some tires. I think I pitted, and then it was I think it was I was in the fourth split, and somehow I weaved my way through all the way to win on the last lap, and it was pretty cool. It was definitely pretty exciting there the last lap because I was just trying everything I could to get by the guy to win.
Ugh. We all have our moments.
Yeah, I was definitely pretty crossed up. I had it sideways coming off of two multiple times, just trying to catch him. I think I used every bit of the wall up that I could that day just to keep me straight, trying to win that race.
Well, you finally got it. All right, so next up we're going to talk some NIS series and cover how we did this week, I guess. First, I'm going to bring up Mike's because he wasn't here or isn't here this evening. So he ran, looks like P12 in the fixed, and he said it was a caution fest. He got a fourth place in the open. The fixed race he was in had 19 cautions, which was 47% of the race. And I can attest to that. I had a few of those this week that were like that. How about you, Jamie? Did you run any NAS this week?
Actually, I didn't get a chance to. I was planning on racing, but I had computer problems all weekend. Kind of kept me from racing. I kept having a update problem with my video card where it kept dropping the driver. I think I have it fixed. I was hoping to get it in last night, but it took me a couple hours to kind of finally solve the issue.
All right. Yeah, I remember that now that you've had the issues all week. How about you, Lance?
Aside from running the league Monday and pulling out, I think, a 13th place finish, I sat the rest of the week out. Phoenix doesn't usually agree with me, and I didn't want to continue the downward trend of iRating.
Can't blame you there. Only one more week, bud. Hang in there.
I'm hanging.
How about you, Scotty?
This was really my second week trying out NIS and my first foray into the open side. And thanks to you guys helping out with some good setups, I fell in love with Phoenix. I wish I had more time to run it more. I think I had a couple good finishes. My best was a P6 in the open, and was running P3 with a couple laps to go in the one, and got crossed up with a guy. But great week for me. I gained a lot of iRating and safety rating, and really enjoyed the track.
Yeah, unfortunately I ran with you a lot this week, and I'm almost sad to give you a setup because you ran me over pretty much. You finished up in the top 10 all week, and I finished. I didn't run a fix this week. I ran 3 opens, and the best I did was 13th. So it was a rough week for me. Carlos, did you run?
Yeah, 13 was my best. It's not like a really good deal. I just wrecked in every single race.
All right, so Scotty basically dominates the team this week. I'm not sure how Dave did. I didn't get any stats from him, so. We shall move on to the Pro Series. A lot of the guys on the team ran the Pro Series race last Tuesday night at Texas, and it was the first race of the season. I think it's 7 races long, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually got the best placing on the team. I placed P6. I was running top 5 all race with David Thompson, our other teammate. And caution came out at the end of the race, and I pitted for fresh tires to try and get that advantage, and didn't realize that the race was over. So I ended up giving up my 4th place and finished P6. David Thompson finished P7. Jeff ran it. He's not here tonight. He got a P14 even after he blew his motor. Mike Ellis ran it. He finished P17 after hitting a wall. He ran 10th to 15th all night though, and he had a pretty good run. Jose's not here tonight. He finished P30. Had a good run going, but he had bad luck again. Got wrecked in the front and nowhere to go. So, and then Brad Miller ran it, but he had connection issues and brake issues, and then he ended up running into computer issues this week as well. So, just like you did, Jamie. So, kind of a okay start, I guess, for some of us, and an awful start for the rest of us. Dave ran the Pro Series as well, and he got wrecked out of the race, and then he lost his cool on a guy that's been giving him trouble for a few months now, and ended up getting protested and settled that. So, want to give a special shout out to David Thompson's live spotter that he brought to the team, Mel. She helped us out in the race. When we ran the Pro Series, I was in there with Dave, and I believe Jeff was in there as well. So she was kind of spotting and doing a lot of work for all three of us. So definitely kudos to her, and we appreciate the help and look forward to working with her later. And Jamie joined us that night as well, hung out with us. So I guess to cover the actual top split, Ryan Luza looks like he won it, passing Bobby Zielinski with 3 laps to go, and could not hold off. Zielinski couldn't hold him off, even though he led 88 of the 167 laps. So. With that, I guess we'll move on to the next topic, Lance.
So I've been noticing this lately, that the spotters can talk in the driver's channel on all teams, and that allows for somebody who's got a spotter that's a little bit of a troll to play the troll. And apparently there was an incident this weekend with a guy playing music on the spotter channel and disrupting the entire race. At least 4 people protested him, and one of us was one of them.
Yeah, spotters can talk on the All Teams channel as long as they are logged in to the driver. This is part of the reason why I keep a password on my account, so people can't just randomly join in. Whoever he was spotting for, if they were a legitimate spotter for him, then I would definitely be considering my options for spotters in the future.
Oh, no kidding. Absolutely, that driver should be taken into account, as well as the person that was spotting for him. To me, there needs to be a delineation between the driver and the spotter. There should be no way that the spotter can communicate with the rest of the field. It's unnecessary, and it's potentially detrimental, as this incident shows.
Yeah, I've experienced sides of it as well myself. Jeff Fabiano comes to mind. He's got a live spotter every race. His name's Mike Corvo. Most people know him. He's a really good spotter. There's been times where Jeff's kind of lost his cool, and Mike Corvo will come right over the air and calm him down, basically right there in all teams. But that's, the good side to spotters, talking and chat. There's some drivers out there that won't talk at all. Only their spotters call everything for them. I wouldn't agree that they're not allowed on all teams, but at the same time, there should be some sort of common sense there that they shouldn't be getting involved with it on track if they're not driving the car.
Well, in my opinion, and this is something that wouldn't be that hard to implement, that there should be a hotkey to boot your spotter.
Now that I could definitely agree with. But I would definitely recommend to anybody out there that does not have a password on their account that they put a password on their account, because anybody could randomly join you to spot if you don't, and they can do things like this. Or when they do join you as a live spotter and they click on spotting, you no longer have your default spotter talking to you. So if you wreck somebody and you don't know somebody joined you as a spotter, well, I hate to be you, so word for the wisdom, put a password on your account.
I feel like I don't have a password on mine, but I feel like I have it set to that only friends can spot for me.
Oh, okay, so obviously you have somebody, it'd be a trusted thing. You'd have to have them added on iRacing.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't sure that was an option. I think when I joined, you could only do password or anybody.
Yep, there's 3 options on the settings screen. Anyone could be my spotter, require a password, or only friends or crew can be my spotter.
Okay, so I guess I would retract that and say pick one of the 2 options. Just don't leave yourself open to anybody. All right, next up, the Netherlands Amsterdam server came down for maintenance. They did it, looks like Wednesday last week, and it basically took down the hosted sessions, it looks like, but everything's back up and running now.
Isn't that this week that it's going on?
Actually, you're right, it is the 16th. I thought I saw the 6th, my bad. So yes, that is the 16th, this Wednesday at 0300. It'll be offline, and it'll only affect the Amsterdam server farm, and members will be unable to host or join sessions on that server during the downtime. The US and Australia farms will still be working as usual, so it's only going to affect the folks over there in the Netherlands area. All right, what's up next, Brad? Or Lance?
Next, we've got the Ricmotech. It's a shift light indicator and a telemetry monitor. Let's see, what is it called? The SRD R3 Motec style data display. Looks pretty interesting for those of you that like to run a little telemetry and don't want to have a third screen or fourth screen or second screen. I don't pretend to know what your setup is, but they're handy little tools for displaying your speed, your lap times, your fuel pressure, RPMs, and what gear you're in. They're a neat little deal, and they're a lot easier to see than the stock ones that are built into most wheels.
Now, does that just do fuel pressure, or does it do like gallons remaining?
I couldn't find any information that told you that, but I imagine there's some programming in there that would allow you to just display whatever you'd like. That just seems to be the trend with devices like these. They're really customizable. And Ricmotech is one of those outfits that makes really innovative sim racing products. So I imagine that they thought of something like that.
All right. And this is compatible with a lot of different games, just not iRacing, R Factor, R Factor 2, Dirt, all the F1 games from 2010 through 16. So it's compatible with a lot of games, not just iRacing.
Yeah, it's compatible with over 30 titles, and the sticker price on it is $239.95.
Wowzer.
Yeah, some of these little standalone peripherals get spendy.
Here I was looking at a Sam Maxwell with it built into it, so I might look into that option for a cheaper. All right, well, next up is a Twitter post from Steve Myers, and he says, "Are you excited for dirt racing?" And he posted an article about the 410 sprint car and how they had their first drive on the sim. It's a pretty interesting article, hyping up the dirt some more, and it's getting closer. December, I guess it is. What are you guys thinking about that sprint car?
I'm looking forward to seeing what dirt is like, but until it has its own safety rating, I'm not willing to go and beat and bang around on a dirt track, and tank my SR and my IR.
Yeah, that's exactly what I plan on doing. Is if I have to, I'll host some sessions, but I'm not going to do any official racing on dirt until it has its own license class.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how it plays out when this rolls out. As much difficulty as people have currently with just driving around on asphalt in control, I can't imagine that it's going to be very clean racing for a while, if ever. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited about it. I have a dirt oval background in my family. I live close to tracks. I go, but I'm just skeptical that if they drive like the real thing or even close to the sprint car on iRacing, it's going to be pretty messy for a while.
I think it'll be a little wild at first, and I completely agree with everybody who said about safety rating and iRating. I think it does definitely need its own standalone area, so you're not constantly losing iRating, losing safety rating, especially safety rating, because it's going to be extremely messy at first. But on the other hand, I'm extremely excited for it because I grew up around sprint car racing. Actually, that was actually my job for 6 years. I worked as a full-time mechanic on a sprint car team for about 6 or 7 years. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But it's going to definitely bring a different element to iRacing where I think there's going to be a lot more, you're going to have a lot more give and take. It's not going to be just take like you see in some of these series right now.
What I'm hoping for is they're a little bit more lenient on their collision models. You can obviously rub on each other a lot more on the dirt than you can on pavement without causing major issues.
I thought I saw, I want to say it was Steve Myers, but it might not have been him, say that they were working on the collision model for dirt. So I think there's going to be some sort of change for that.
Yeah, I definitely read that somewhere from one of the employees of iRacing saying that some kind of a reduced effect for incidents.
I would think it's going to have to for sure. I mean, if you see a lot of this stuff where even in iRacing, just getting those random 4Xs, even though you might net code into somebody or whatever, it's going to have to be something a little bit more lenient. Even just bouncing off the fence or whatever, or even another car, it's definitely have to be something where the collision rate is just scaled back a little bit.
Yeah, especially because that is kind of, in reality, that is part of dirt racing, leaning on somebody else. So we'll see what happens. They got a few months to come out with it.
I'm kind of hoping that if they do have it up for the next build, that they at least get it up live for week 13, maybe some fun races so everybody can start getting used to it and get a feel for it.
Well, from my understanding, it's going to get released in the December build, so we'll see. I don't think they'll put it out a week early, but we'll see what happens. Either way, it's going to be a trial basis test for everybody on iRacing because nobody's had it except for the people in the office. So everybody's going to be starting from scratch, and I think that's a lot of the hype as well from it, is everybody's going to be on an even playing field. I mean, even the people that have dirt racing backgrounds.
Well, when they push it out, it'll be a week 13 deal, and they'll have all those unofficial races for people to get started and have really no consequences. Just those fun races like they always have anytime they push out a new track or car.
Right. All right, what's up next, Lance?
Oh, we got the referral bonus program. For the month of November, you get $15 in iRacing credits for every friend that you refer to iRacing that buys I think, a 3-month subscription. or more. It's a cool thing that they do every now and then to get your friends involved. If you've got friends that want to come and try out iRacing, here's a nice little incentive for you to get them to come try it out.
Yeah, think about it. Every friend that you can get on there, that's another car or a track that you can purchase.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, the next topic, we should have brought it up before that, but earlier this week, iRacing put out the templates for the new cars for dirt. And they released the templates for the dirt late model, the dirt sprint car winged, and the dirt street stock. And boy, do they look sharp. Brian Simpson from iRacing, he made a post in the forums. He says, while we are busy developing our newest feature of a sim dirt racing, we thought it would be fun to release the templates for the cars early so you can begin to create the schemes that you'll be racing in the sim. We are incredibly excited about this new form of racing we're introducing to our simulator, and we think you're going to love it when we release it. Until then, you can get to work painting up your schemes before you get them all covered up in dirt. So the schemes get to paint and get the templates, and you can get to painting them. I did see where somebody asked if they could put them in there so they could do some testing to see how the paints look in the sim, but they were like, nope, can't do that yet. So at least they're teasing a little bit.
Yeah, these guys that paint cars on a daily, weekly basis, they kind of have a general idea of what a layout's going to look like on a car. They're just trying to poke their head in the door a little bit and get a glimpse of everything before it's actually out for everyone.
Right.
I did see right after that came out that some people were getting frustrated. Sounds like the template on at least the sprint car is a lot like the helmet in the way things overlay, and they were having trouble matching things up. But I feel like later in the week I seen some people posting pictures of their templates, and seemed to turn out pretty good.
Yep. And they also added later on in the week after that post that they are going to have a wingless sprint car as well. So they didn't put that in the picture, but they answered somebody on Twitter that asked if we were going to be able to take the wing off, and they said there will be a wingless sprint car. So it's looking like we'll have 4 different versions of dirt cars. So stay tuned for more updates on dirt. What's up next, Lance?
Oh, Pablo GoPro Lopez has been selected to represent iRacing at the 2016 Mazda Road to 24 shootout. Now, I used to watch some of his videos, and that is a talented dude. He is fast in that little Mazda, and it's fun to watch him race. And good on him for going to live out his dream as a real race car driver in the Mazda Road to 24.
Oh, another lucky soul. That's not us.
I tell you what, watching Mazda and their heavy involvement with iRacing development drivers, and actually pulling some really raw talent out of here. Some guys that actually go and perform on the track and are competitive straight out of the box is amazing.
Yeah, we've been hearing about them a lot more and more lately.
Yeah, sim racing has gone from being just a little hobby to kind of a springboard for some people. If you've got enough talent, you can turn this into a career potentially. I mean, the odds are not in your favor, but it has happened and it can happen. So there's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Majeski's doing a hell of a job in his ride that he got starting off on iRacing. So.
Yep, and it's cool to follow those guys' progress and just kind of imagine yourself in their shoes, and then realize that it's not you when you wake up and get depressed.
Unfortunately. All right, so next up, was a Twitter post. Oh boy, Jop Groliman. He did an interview with iRacing's pro team Coanda Sim Sports on the Badger GP World Champions in a parallel universe. Did you guys look into this?
I did not.
I did not either.
Neither did I.
We are very prepared. We are a professional podcast, I promise.
Well, I didn't look into it, and I didn't even see it on there, to be honest with you. Mike must have added that. What's up next, Lance?
All right, so we got another telemetry display. This one's put out by SRX. Now, these guys make complete custom dashboards to go around the Fanatic wheels, and they are something to behold. This new device they have is kind of like what we went over earlier. It's a little telemetry display, and it actually has an LED screen and some control buttons on it. So it does have some functionality outside of just being telemetry, and it's more like a black box from what I'm reading.
Yeah, that looks sharp. Did you see I'm looking, do you see a price point anywhere?
I don't. I think this is just a teaser, and eventually we'll get some pricing information. There's a lot of questions on their Facebook page. How much? And what I'm seeing is 399 pounds. And I think after Brexit, that's about $4 US.
You're onto something here. Yeah, they did say that the Target special offer price is 399 pounds, but that's not confirmed. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that is definitely one sharp-looking piece of equipment.
Yeah, that's something any hobbyist would be proud to have on top of their wheel. That is a good-looking device.
Yeah, I was looking this week because I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to go with the Fanatic or if I'm going to go with the AccuForce. And I have a Derek Spears button box now, but I don't have it mounted, so it kind of sits next to me on the floor, and I just reach down and push whatever I need. And I was looking on the Derek Spears site, and I noticed that he's got the dash panels that bolt onto the wheelbases for both AccuForce and Fanatic, and they're both identical. They're the same button boxes, just different mounting, obviously, for different wheels. But this is a little bit more eye-appealing.
It looks like it has limited button functionality, unless that's a touch display. I'm not sure. It's only got 6 buttons on it. I've got the DSD Track King, I believe. I forget how many buttons and switches are on my button box, and I've got it mounted on one of the articulating acrylic trade arms on my Abuto rig.
Right, now the switches in that picture off to the right, is that part of it? Because there's a lot of buttons and switches over there.
I think we're looking at the wrong thing. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see the ProTech. There's some better pictures of it. It looks kind of like one of those old PlayStation Pros, the little PSP, the little handheld device.
Okay, yep, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the dashboard itself.
Yeah,
so
it
yeah,
looks to
6
have,
buttons.
Yeah, it looks to have 6 buttons.
So that's going to be just another thing that mounts inside your wheel kind of thing then.
Yeah, I would say it bolts, it looks like it's bolting right on top of the wheel.
Alright. And Scotty, did you say you had something on Coanda that we just covered?
I was just going to go back to that last topic, the interview with Coanda. I kind of went through it, and it is a pretty good article. If you're involved in almost any kind of class in iRacing, you'd know that Coanda is one of the top teams on iRacing, and it was an interview. talking about sim racing in general and how the teams work together. Specifically, this interview was about Coanda, but kind of how in depth the teams work together. How there's the broadcasts, the real sponsors, lots of telemetry software for the teams to work together on building setups. This is done kind of looking on from a person outside of iRacing, getting a window into the sim world, and how serious it really is. It's a good read. Got some good video of Stefan Johansson. There's been a couple of him lately driving in a motion rig around Norgecliff, and talking about how accurate it is. He's been a driver in the real world and also active in sim racing. So it's a good read, and really shows how in-depth sim racing and iRacing specifically has become.
All right. Well, thanks for looking into that for us. Next up is the Black Friday sale. iRacing put out their Black Friday sale. Last year they ran a 50% off, but they had a price increase this year. So now through December 6th, they've cut the 1-year and 2-year renewal memberships to by 25%. So your normal 1-year price is $110. You can get it for $82.50, or your 2-year price, normally $199. You can get it for $149.25. You can use the codes up to 3 times, and the promo codes for the 1-year renewal is PR-BF12M 2016, or the 2-year deal is PR-BF24M 2016. And you can locate this right on the main member site page of iRacing. And that deal is good through 23:59 GMT on December 6th, and it's valid on all existing and active accounts only. Remember that you can use these codes even if your membership's still good right now, because it stacks. So if you have if you're set to expire on, say, the 31st of January 2017, and you add a year to it, it'll expire on the 31st of January 2018. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity to pick up 3 years right here. So, if you got the money to do it, definitely do it.
Yeah, I'm finally glad that they came out and said something that people have been losing their marbles on the forums about whether whether or not there was going to be a Black Friday sale or not. So it's good that that'll settle that down a bit.
They generally run a Black Friday sale, and I believe they do another one in Memorial Day or in July. I can't remember which it was.
Yeah, they've always done it a couple of times a year where they drop it 50% off, and I was always quite happy to take full advantage of it. In fact, my subscription is up here later this month, and I'll be renewing. I'm a little disappointed that they're not doing the 50% off, but for what you get out of it, I'm okay with paying more.
Yeah, I kind of expected they weren't going to do 50% when they had to do the price increase this year, but at least they gave us something. I took advantage of the Black Friday sale at 50% off last year and got 5 years, so I'm good through 2020. So it'll be a while before I need to take advantage of it again.
Some of the complaints I hear about this service are, why would I pay to do this? I can go play Call of Duty for free. Call of Duty, they punch it out and they really don't add anything to it. It just is what it is until the next Call of Duty comes out. This, they're constantly doing developing. They're constantly adding new stuff. They have development teams working all year around, and it's the price of doing business. You got to charge a subscription, and as inflation takes hold, you're going to have price increases. It's going to happen. People are going to lose their marbles over it, but it's just the way the world works. And I'm happy to pay it because, in my opinion, it's worth it.
It's a hobby, and everybody has their own hobbies, and usually there's some sort of cost involved with some sort of hobby.
Yep. Good hobbies are not cheap.
Yeah, I've been, I have a background in real racing, and to me, not really coming from the gaming side, it seems unbelievably cheap, at least from a subscription part. I've heard that people are a little scared by the initial buy-in of the hardware to get it up and going, but after that, the service to me, I mean, I took advantage of the 50% off new subscriber when I signed up, and then I'm going to do the 25% to extend it out even more. And when you figure the price per month, it's so small that people that smoke spend more a day on cigarettes than what the service costs for a month.
It's cool to watch people get involved too. Like I've got a buddy that's just starting to get involved in simulation racing, and he's kind of taken the approach that I took. You know, you grab a wheel, get a decent wheel, don't get a cheap job. Kind of sit in his office chair and try it out before he throws a bunch of money at it. Some people are completely different. They just they get into it, they run one race, they love it, they pull their wallet out and just start throwing every piece of cash that they can find at it.
I was option 2.
I accumulated slowly. It took me about 2 years to get everything that I wanted, and I got an Abuto rig. I got the big triple monitor setup. The Fanatic wheels. I'm still racing on the G27, but the biggest thing that I've got going for me now is that HTC Vive, and I can't imagine going back to racing without it. But we're getting off on a sidebar and completely off topic, so let's get back on track.
All right, sounds good. Next up, the iRacing.com Pro Race of Champions. For the 6th time in 6 years, some of the world's top professional race drivers will square off against one another online. The iRacing Pro Race of Champions on December 14th. This year you're going to have pros from IndyCar, IMSA, NASCAR, and other leading sanctioned bodies racing a fixed setup Dallara DW12 Indy cars at Phoenix International Raceway. It's going to be a 50-lap race, and it'll be broadcast live on iRacing Live, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And iRacing will again honor the memory of Justin Wilson by donating $2,500 in the name of the iRacing Pro Race of Champions winner to the Justin Wilson's Children's Fund. They added in that previous races have seen NASCAR Sprint Cup champions Brad Keselowski, Bobby Labonte, Carl Edwards going head-to-head with Stefan Wilson, Townsend Bell, and Connor Daly. Joey Hand, Jordan Taylor, Ron Capps from the NHRA Funny Car, Formula F1 IndyCar driver Scott Speed, and from the international side, V8 Supercar Shane Van Gisbergen and Matt Halliday, Porsche Cup champion Philip Eng, and others like Tom Kendall and Justin Bell. Last year also saw IndyCar team owner Sam Schmidt make his debut using the semi-autonomous motor vehicle technology he used in lapping the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and powering up Pikes Peak in the Arrows Corvette. So, looks like that could be a really fun event to watch. A lot of big names there.
Yeah, I've raced at Watkins Glen with Shane Van Gisbergen before. That guy is brilliant. He's fast. He lapped the whole field. It was just stupid.
I was gonna say he probably just left you in your pit stall, right?
Everyone might as well have been parked there.
Yeah, I've watched some of his races. It's he's a whole different breed for sure.
I think the neat thing about this is it really serves a couple of different purposes. One, probably the most important is, it's kind of being held in the memory of Justin Wilson. iRacing's donating some money towards that, but it also brings an opportunity to get the word out about iRacing. I, for one, am going to try to get people to watch that broadcast just so they can kind of get a feel for what really is out there in the sim world.
Yeah, definitely. And then you can scoop them up later with the referral bonus. That's a win-win.
Free cars and tracks everywhere.
Well, that's a good way. Just starting out. Shoot, you can have all the content soon. All right, Lance, how about you bring up the next topic?
All right, next up we got more from Ricmotech. It's their APX 500 Bear chassis. It, if you take a look at it on their website, it's very reminiscent of the patterns that they used to sell for you to make a DIY rig out of plywood or some other MDF, I believe is the material that they recommended, like a pressed cardboard type material. It's ergonomically correct. It's got a seat. It's one of those low slung rigs that sits right down on the floor. I can't overstate how awesome actually sitting in the correct position is, to add to the immersion of the sim racing experience. Having the pedals in mostly the right spot, the steering wheel in the right spot, and to be sat down in that position, the real driving position, instead of like an office chair. And for $550, you're really it's really competitive with the big brands like Playseat.
Yeah, I mean, I can attest to that as well. Up until March of this year, I sat at a computer desk with triple monitors and raced with my G27 with G27 pedals and a desk chair. And this past March, I bought an Obeto Ozone and with the triple mount, and I mounted them up, and it is a whole different experience for sure. You get the monitors that are closer to you. It actually feels like you're sitting down in the car because your feet are out in front of you like they should be and not underneath you. And it is a totally different experience for sure. I definitely recommend it if it's an option for you to definitely get yourself some sort of rig like this. The Ozone is a little bit cheaper. I think I paid $379 for it, but to each their own, whichever you prefer.
Yep, I really like the Ozone rig. I have a Revolution. They're very similar. The Revolution's a little bit beefier. It's the newer thing. It's got more attachments, and the monitor stand is actually separate. So whenever you're throwing yourself around in your rig and trying to chase the car around like you're actually in it, your monitors don't vibrate.
Yeah, I really wanted the Revolution, but kind of talked myself out of it just because it's pretty much identical to the Ozone, other than the fact that I believe the Revolution is a square tubing versus Ozone being round tubing. And like you said, the monitor stand is standalone, but I thought for an extra $400, I personally couldn't justify it, so I went with the Ozone.
Yeah, I'm sitting in it as we speak, and it's for the most part it's round tubing, except for the seating position. That's the square tubing.
One thing I like about this Ricmotech setup is a lot of the ones I've seen, and why I ended up going with the 80-20 build I'm doing is Lance talked about proper seating, and the Obetos get it pretty close. But one thing I think Playseat falls a little short in is proper seating position. You still get that position where your feet are well below your rear, and I don't think it gets you in that true GT sports car position that you kind of want to be in.
No, if you're driving, say, open wheels or some of the sportier the BMWs or the GT1 cars, yeah, you're going to have a flatter seating position with your pedals more out in front of you than down below you. The ozone and the Revolution, they kind of get that almost passenger cars type seating position with your feet slightly down. But to be fair, if you're doing long gaming sessions, that's better for you anyway. Having your legs elevated for that long causes a lot of pooling.
Yep, which could lead to strokes, which we've seen on this show a few times in the past couple months.
Yes, we've had some unfortunate discussions about guys with that problem. And if you have your legs a little bit more down, like I currently do, you're less apt to have that. But I can't stress enough that you do need to get up and stretch every now and then. Don't just sit there and race all day. Get up, move around, please, for your health.
Absolutely. All right, that looks like that's all we have to cover tonight. So how about we roll into final thoughts? Jamie, do you have anything you want to discuss? All right, let's move on to Lance. Lance, anything?
Well, I'd just like to thank everybody that supported me during the Extra Life event last week, or week before last. It was there were some generous donations made to the Children's Miracle Networks, and I'd like to extend a warm gratitude, my warmest gratitudes to everyone that donated. Your money's being put to very good use for children with some life-threatening illnesses. They're going to get a new game room built at Sanford Children's Hospital in Fargo, North Dakota. Gaming and having fun is part of the healing process. It's not all just about the medicine. It's about feeling like a kid, and building that game room is going to help those kids feel like kids and not just a kid in a hospital. So again, thank you to everybody that donated, and thank you to Harpoon Designs for the paint scheme that I ran on my Toyota Camry. And that's all I got. Thanks.
All right, awesome. And once again, I'd like to thank you again for doing that. It's definitely an awesome thing. How about you, Scotty?
Final thoughts. I am a little sad to see Phoenix go. I'm interested to see what Homestead brings. I really appreciate you guys welcoming me onto the team, and I've already seen the value of being part of it with setups and some advice. And I look forward to racing with you guys.
All right, definitely, and we're glad to have you here, and appreciate the help from feedback that you've given us so far as well, because it's definitely been valuable. You back, Jamie?
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, any final thoughts before we get this thing closed down for the night?
I think you guys pretty much covered it. Definitely, obviously, I'm definitely looking forward to the dirt experience when it does hit. And I like to thank you guys for letting me be a part of this and joining the team. Definitely looking forward to being around a team atmosphere. Looking forward to this.
All right, awesome. Welcome. How about you, Carlos? Any final thoughts?
I don't know I do, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. So no, I don't.
All right. My final thoughts is once again, I'd like to thank Lance for doing that charity drive for childhood sickness, and like he was touching on, it's a way to take them away from their sickness and illness and whatever they are dealing with at that time, and get away from it and put it out of their mind and just have fun like they should be having. So Definitely appreciate his sponsors as well. Phoenix, I'm glad to see it go. And I cannot wait for the end of Homestead. I don't care if it's a good race or a bad race. I'm just ready for vacation. So we'll move on. I'm going to still run the Pro Series. We'll see what happens. I don't have a chance to get in the Pro, but we're going to run it anyways just to have a little fun in the off season. So, and it's only once a week versus 6 or 8 or whatever it is. So I guess that's it. As always, if you have any ideas for the show, you could always get a hold of us at iRacers Lounge on Facebook, iRacersLounge.com, iRacers Lounge on Twitter. You can catch our podcast on SoundCloud, Stitcher, PodTrack, and pretty much any major hosting site. Any questions for us, you can get a hold of us there. You can also reach out to us at our team page, Team Typhosi Racing on Facebook. And I guess that's it for tonight. So until next time, take care.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the iRacers Lounge podcast. Make sure to go subscribe to us at our YouTube channel at iRacers Lounge. Follow on Twitter and Facebook at iRacers Lounge and SoundCloud at iRacers Lounge. See you on the track.